to Time Travelers, where I'm going to be talking about history, the stories and achievements of different people in history, from all fields and walks of life, and hopefully teaching you a couple things that you didn't know before. The feature of this episode is going to be talking about Frida Kahlo, an extremely well-known painter of the 20th century and super influential both in Mexico and the United States. Frida was born in Mexico in 1907 in a borough of Mexico City called Coyoacan. Her life consisted of a lot of struggle, pain, and strife. She was disabled by polio as a young girl, which already left her with health issues, but a bus accident that occurred when she was 18 left her bedridden for months and with more severe lifelong pains and damage. She was en route to become a top student at the medical school she was attending, but the amount of time that she spent bedridden after the incident is what influenced her to be spending so much more of her time on art and painting in that period of self-reflection, just from the amount of time that she spent by herself, bedridden, and suffering from pains and damage that would last her lifelong. While her name is definitely well known, what a lot of people might not know is that she was born with the name Magdalena Carmen Frida Kahlo y Calderon, which is definitely more than the name that she's known by now, but it was also spelled Frida and not Frida. And this difference in spelling is something that came from her father, who was German, and named her in the more traditional German spelling. She did later change the spelling of her name in her early adulthood, and her name change did leave the world with the more recognizable name of hers. Frida was a part of movements that arose after the Mexican Revolution called Mexicayotl or Mexicanidad, which aimed to resist the impacts of colonialism and celebrate and revive ancient philosophies, religion, tradition, and culture of Mexico that existed pre-colonialism, which is part of why Mexican folk culture has played such a huge influence on her work. She blends pre-Columbian beliefs with Catholic ones, which lends for results that are so interesting and unique to Frida herself. She really is such an accomplished artist and did so much throughout her life and much after it too. At first, she apprenticed under Fernando Fernandez, a friend of her father's and also a printmaker, who he taught her a lot of her skills from an early age, and the skills that she later uses to paint while recovering from the bus accident and the rest of her painting career. The attention that she attracted, even during her lifetime, from renowned surrealist artists like Andre Breton and others, made her the first Mexican artist to be featured in the Louvre. Not only that, but she was also a founding member of the Seminary of Mexican Culture, or El Seminario de Cultura Mexicana. She's a cultural icon, her work being declared a part of Mexico's national cultural heritage, and her story has made her an icon for minority and political groups like feminists and Chicanos, who are a part of the Chicano movement, which is based off of empowerment and solidarity for Mexican Americans in the US. Her work has been celebrated internationally as something that's so representative of Mexican national and indigenous traditions, and also by feminists because of how she portrayed herself and her experiences. A descriptor that I've heard being used is uncompromising. Her impact on communities all around is really undeniable, and though most of her recognition really came after her death, beginning in the 70s, when the same groups I mentioned before took a look at her life, her work, and found such incredible value that her fame and recognition exploded. And while she did accomplish much during her own lifetime, the fascination with her is really more of a modern day thing and something that I believe is very well deserved.